So you're single and you're thinking about buying a house, but you don't really know where to start. You're young, you have some money for a down payment, and you want to invest in something for the future for you and your family. So, where should you start? What should your first property look like? Okay, I got you. So, my best advice for someone that's young, maybe you're in your mid 20s, early 30s, you don't have a family yet, but you do want an investment. My advice would be first, one idea is to maybe get a co-op, okay? A co-op or a condo. Okay, now a co-op, I will admit, a co-op does have maintenance fees. Okay, but if you're a single woman, you're a young woman, and you don't really want to upkeep the house as far as mowing a lawn or like shoveling snow, things of that nature, then I would recommend maybe a co-op or a condo, because then you would be able to have some help for the building facilitators to help do those things for you, right? So with a co-op, though, usually you do need permission from the board before you can make any changes to the co-op, as far as painting the walls, maybe renovating the kitchen. You will have to ask the board for permission. I know sometimes some people are like, oh my God, I don't like the idea of having to ask anybody for permission to do what I want to do with my property. So sometimes they may not like that idea, right? And that's why there's an option for a condo. However, before I'm done, let's get back into the co-op. So another requirement for a co-op is typically a co-op is going to require a 20% down payment, okay? But the good thing is co-ops are typically less expensive. Co-ops are typically anywhere from 150 to 300,000, right? So 20% of that is what you'll have to put down. Okay, so that can be anywhere up to 50 to 60,000 after closing costs. So you have the idea of a co-op. So this will be a great investment strategy, because you can buy a co-op when you're young, you have no kids, maybe it's just you and your significant other, or you by yourself, right? You get a co-op. Let's say you buy a co-op for 200,000. Okay, then within 5 years you can sell that same co-op, and it could probably be worth 300,000, right? So that's an additional $100,000 back in your pocket, and that could be used to go towards your primary home, your new home for you and your new family, okay, for the future. Now you have money and equity that you've built upon in this co-op, that now you can utilize those funds, okay? Now, another idea is maybe to actually get a single family home and maybe rent out upstairs and live in the basement. Now think about it. We're in New York, right? So a lot of the times a one bedroom or a two bedroom is going to be around an average of at least $2,000 you're going to have to pay for, right? So the average mortgage payment is $5,000, right? So if you think about it, if you rent, and then a whole house rental average minimum is going to be around 3,000. Okay, so let's do the math here. So if you get if you buy a home, sorry, so if you buy a home and your mortgage payment is going to be 5,000, and you decide to utilize the basement, and you're a single person, you don't really have any kids, you don't have much responsibilities, so you decide to buy that home, and you decide, oh, you know what, I'm just going to live in the basement and rent out the upstairs, where there's three bedrooms up there, a bathroom up there, and now you're renting out upstairs, and you're getting at least $3,000 for that upstairs rental, and then your mortgage payment is 5,000. Realistically thinking about it, you're only spending $2,000, right? And that's the same amount that you'd have paid for a rental if you're living in New York, right? If not, actually less, because honestly speaking, it's more like $2,500 for these rentals. And then that's not to mention utilities. Okay, so you're saving some money, and not only that, you're also building equity. Now, let's say 5 years from now, okay, that house, that let's say you bought the house for $600,000, you're living in the basement, you have a family that's upstairs. Now you decide to do a free home evaluation, and you realize that that house that you bought for 600,000 is now worth 700,000 or 750. Okay, now you have a whole $100,000 worth of income. Okay, now if you decide to sell the property, that's one option. To now, instead of now, you'll have essentially $700,000 in your pocket. You could put a portion of that money towards a down payment for your next home, and you can still have a lot of liquidity, right? This is how we build wealth, essentially. Okay, so I gave you two great plays. One, you get a co-op, okay, or a condo. A condo is less requirements, less fees, and things of that nature. But you do have to remember, a condo is going to be more money in New York, okay? A co-op will just probably be around $300,000. Okay, it is a requirement of 20%. Okay, but now a condo would be around $500,000. You may be able to find something for around 400,000, a nice condo, but typically average right now, the prices of condos has gone up in New York. Okay, so average, you're probably going to see a condo around 500,000. Okay, now if you're going to be spending $500,000 on a condo, honestly speaking, you might as well go out to Suffolk and get you a house. Okay, and then that brings me to the second play that we just discussed. Okay, you get a house, a single family house, or if you can't afford it, get a multi-family house. Okay, but typically you can start out with a single family house. You live in the basement and you can rent out upstairs. Okay, now we have equity that we're building, and then within 5 years, that same house, you can either sell it and you'll have at least $100,000 worth of equity that it has built, if not more. Okay, so now you have more money in your pocket if you decide to sell it. Or honestly, you can refinance, do a cash out refinance, okay, and take some money out of that property that you got and put it towards a second property, maybe your primary home now, because now maybe you've gotten a family, maybe you've had some kids, and now it's time for you to move into a house, right? You're no longer a single person, you have more responsibilities, you have a family. So now you can go ahead and if you decide, I still want to cash flow, I still want to continue to rent this house, fine. You want to hold on to that property, fine. You can just tap into that property, take out some money out of that house, maybe $50 to $100,000, and you could put it towards your next house, your primary house. And honestly speaking, if you did, well, you probably will build at least $100,000 in equity. You don't have to put a whole $100,000 towards your new house. Okay. It could probably just be 50,000, 60,000, right? You can still have $40,000 back in your pocket, maybe to renovate or furnish a place. You'll still have money. This is how people are building equity. And if you are young, you're single, you have money, and you're looking for an investment, these are some two great plays. Okay. Now, if you want to talk a little bit more, you have more questions, go ahead and click the link in the bio. Let's set up a free consultation and let's talk about it. Let me give you some ideas. Let me help you out. Okay. Let's build wealth brick by brick. It's your favorite realtor girl, Giovanna Saldada, and I'm here to help you find a home.